Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we take a look at an Omega Speedmaster reference 3520.50. This watch is known under many names. Omega calls it Speedmaster Date. The general public calls it Speedmaster Triple Date due to the complications it offers, while watch lovers usually refer to it as Speedmaster Mark 40, as a tribute to the Mark IV vintage Speedmaster that also had the day-night indicator. Such a vast number of names is befitting a watch that is one of the most complicated models ever to be offered within the Speedmaster line. Introduced in 1996, it has been in production for I think around 15 years, and in those years, many variants were produced, from pure dressy versions to racing-inspired ones. But I like this traditional black and white variant the most, as it captures the spirit of the Speedmaster the best in my opinion. Whenever you ask for an advice about what Speedmaster to buy within the watch community, everyone will tell you that you have to go for the professional, the manual wind version, the man on the freaking moon as one YouTuber calls it, because it is the essence of what a Speedmaster is, a watch that was worn on the moon. And although I too appreciate the aura of history surrounding the professional, after trying one on, I sadly concluded it is too big for my wrist. Not the watch itself, but these protruding T-shaped end links of the bracelet that increase the reasonable lug-to-lug of 48 to a staggering 54mm. This watch suffers from the same problem, but thanks to its smaller starting lug-to-lug of under 45, the total length is much more acceptable 50mm, making it sit perfectly on a smaller wrist like mine. The 39mm diameter and 18mm lugs make for a very proportionate looking watch. The case itself is classic Speedmaster with brushed tops and sides and wide polished bevels in between. It even has a slight bulge on the crown side, like the professional does, giving it a slightly asymmetrical look, although on this it is slightly less pronounced. The bezel insert is aluminium, and unlike the professional, this one is sloped to match the curve of the domed sapphire crystal. The bracelet is classic Speedmaster style and is among the most comfortable bracelets I have tried. It features solid links, solid end links, and a hidden clasp that I simply adore. Many people dislike the clasp because of the sliding mechanism, as it makes putting the watch on awkward if you don't know what you're doing. However, once you discover the proper technique, it is as simple to put on as any other clasp. I honestly prefer the hidden styling of this to the massive machined clasp of the current Speedmaster. Although the watch comes with 50 meters of water resistance, the fact that the caseback is a simple snap-on, and the fact this is a chronograph, makes me avoid water with it, and I would advise anyone against using this watch for swimming and other water-based activities. Some of you might ask, why didn't I go for the Speedmaster Reduced, as that is even more similar to the professional while keeping the small size. And I will tell you, I did think about it, but eventually decided I didn't like the modular movement in it, as that thing uses an automatic a.k.a. 2892 movement with a chronograph module mounted on top. The people in the watch community are rather hate-oriented towards that, but my reason for not liking is rather superficial. I simply don't like the way the crown and pushers are not on the same level. The crown is positioned low and pushers are on top, making the whole watch look like a cartoon character somehow. It is just one of those things you can't unsee once you see it. Since this uses a dedicated chronograph movement based on the legendary Valjoux 7750 with added complication, it doesn't suffer from the same problem. Not to mention it does get slightly more respect among watch aficionados. The level of complications added makes this one of the best bang for buck watches out there, if you look at sheer complication per money spent. This thing uses 8 hands and 2 discs to display everything it offers. So you have the standard hours, minutes, and running seconds at the small subdial at 9. Then you have a 12-hour chronograph shown using the central seconds hand and subdials at 12 and 6. And then you have the triple calendar. Date shown using a large hand, and day of the week and month shown using 2 discs at 12 o'clock subdial. To make sure you set up the calendar correctly, you get a 24-hour hand that shares the same 9 o'clock subdial with the running seconds. On top of that, the watch is automatic and features both hacking and hand winding. I mean, can you really ask for anything more? The Valju 7751 movement that this is based on has an additional moon phase indicator at 6 o'clock subdial, but I'm personally glad Omega decided to omit that complication, as I just don't think it would blend into this styling very well. Not to mention it will make an already busy dial even busier. But despite this thing being one of the most cluttered dials I have seen, reading the time is surprisingly easy, which shows just how good the initial Speedmaster design of hands and markers is. The excellent Lume helps the watch stay readable in the dark as well, and it actually surprised me in my Lume Wars video considering how small the loomed area is. So if you're in the market for a smaller member of the Speedmaster line, or if like me you just love a great deal, you should consider this, as thanks to the popularity of the original Moonwatch, this thing can be had at a pretty reasonable prices. And when you compare the sheer specs and level of complication you get for your money, there is nothing that comes even close. The fact the watch comes from one of the biggest names in the industry is just a bonus. Well, that completes this week's video, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.